Hello there, everybody, and happy Monday to you. Thanks for taking a few minutes to tune in today to the weekly. This is your update video from Monday, October 3rd, 2022. It's an absolute delight to be here with you today. I've got just a couple of things that I want to go through with you here in this week's edition. I also want to close with some resources that are hopefully going to be helpful resources for you on the family worship side of things. But before we jump into that, I want to highlight something that happened yesterday that I think is off of everyone's radar, except for maybe two people. But I want to highlight that just because I think it supports well the culture that I want us to have as a team. So let me first explain it, and then I'll talk about how this supports our culture. Yesterday, let's roll back even farther than that. A couple of weeks ago, I, through Tom, had a church contact, New Hope Baptist Church up in Warden, Illinois, which is just up north of us, kind of in the Hamel area. Reached out and they said the folks in their church who normally do music and worship were going to be out for a couple of weeks, and they had a gap. So the past 2 weekends, we've had members of the worship team up filling in at New Hope Baptist Church. The first weekend, Pastor Nate actually went up and filled in for the weekend. And then yesterday, Jason Palmer and Sheila Rankin went up and filled in for the Sunday morning services. And they did an excellent job. In fact, if you want to see it, you can go to New Hope Baptist Church's Facebook page and you can see their live stream from yesterday morning. But as I've already communicated to Jason and Sheila, I just appreciate so much what they've done. They did a great job. But I love that their willingness to go and to take what the Lord has given us, how much He's blessed us, and share it with others. And that is why the Lord does bless us. He blesses us to be a blessing. He doesn't bless us in order to turn in on ourselves, but in order that we may grow out and spread out into the greater world around us. So thank you, Nate, first of all, and thank you, Jason and Sheila, for going and doing something really special, just helping a church not lose the opportunity to sing for 2 weeks in a row. I think that's really critical, and I appreciate those guys for making that sacrifice and serving those folks well. All right, well, like I said, I've got a couple of things for you here today. Just a recap from last week, we are right in the middle of blockout season here at the FBM worship team. Your blockout dates for November, December, those need to be turned in here really soon. I put on this little ticker right here, I said Sunday, October 9th. I think Sheila, whenever she sent out the email, it says maybe Monday, October 10th. I don't remember. I know we'd had a conversation about it. Either way, October 9th is great, or you have to the 10th as well to wrap it up. And then next Monday on the 10th, we're going to have your team leaders go ahead and start putting your schedules together. But either way, it's time. It's blockout season. Get those blockouts in for the end of the year. And like I said last week, go ahead and let me know if you're available on New Year's Day. Sunday this year will be on January 1st. I should say January 1st is going to be on Sunday this year. And because of that, we want to have a team, of course, for our worship services. So in order that I know who's going to be available, please do make that a part of your blockouts if you are 100% for sure not available. Okay, last week I played the video of the mobile how to submit blockout dates on a mobile phone. If you missed that, just go back to last week's update video. I think it was September 27th, whatever the previous one is in the queue here on YouTube. Take a look at that update video. For those of you who use the desktop app, I want to take just a second today to remind you of how that functions. I'm here in Planning Center. All you got to do is go to services.planningcenteronline.com. and that will take you. That'll actually bring up the plans page. This is the first page that you'll see whenever you get there, and you may have a bunch of plans, or you might only have one plan that you're part of. Usually when we put people in, we put them in only for the plans that they need. That way your plans page isn't like this. It can be overwhelming if you if you never do anything with the preteen service, you don't really have any reason to have it in your queue there. So anyway, this is your page here. Go over to My Schedule, which is here in the top the top little menu bar. Go to My Schedule, and this is a really good page to work from as far as Blockout Dates is concerned. If you're using like I said, the desktop app, it's also a good place just to get a quick look at what your schedule is coming up here. Whenever you get your service requests, if you happen to miss that email or whatever, you can always go to services.planningcenteronline.com, come over to My Schedule, and you can confirm or decline services here. So whenever you want to put in your blockout dates, you can either come right here underneath the calendar, hit blockouts, or you can hit blockout dates right here at the top. And this is the exact same process that we talked about last week as far as submitting them on mobile. I noticed here earlier as I was preparing for this, I noticed that I actually have a blockout date in here that I'm not going to need anymore. So I'll show you. If that is you, if that ever happens, you can click on your blockout date and you can come over, and I actually had it set up as a household blockout date, and you can so I've got it set up for December 12th through the 15th. Just go over here to delete household blockouts and say yes, and this will take you then. That'll remove the blockout date from your schedule there. Okay, that's pretty simple, straightforward. Another good feature that some people like to use, I personally don't use it for myself, but it's because I kind of work with the schedule. I really know well what's going on. But if you don't work, with the schedule, if you're not scheduling people, a really cool tool here is the subscribe feature with your schedule. So what you can do is come down to subscribe right here, click this down, and if you use Google Calendar, you can hit this and subscribe on Google Calendar. If you're an iCal person, you can hit subscribe there on iCal. But what that does is it will automatically link your Planning Center schedule to your whatever calendaring software you use. And so you'll get dates. The times will lock in both for the service times and for the rehearsal times. So you'll see if you have a midweek rehearsal, or if you have our early Sunday morning rehearsals, I believe our production team meetings, everything like that, automatically goes into the calendar. If you are subscribed to the calendar in Planning Center. So that's just kind of a cool tool right there. If you're interested, it's not absolutely necessary, but it's kind of a cool thing to use. Excuse me. Okay, well, speaking of Planning Center, let's go over here. Let me get my desktop kind of set up here. Let's go over, and I'd like for us to take a look at the plan for this Sunday morning. There's quite a bit. There's lots of changes for this Sunday morning, I should say. Once I get it up over here in Planning Center, we can take a look at it. All right, slow internet. Okay, here we go. Let's go on back over to Planning Center, and you can take a peek here. So with this Sunday morning's service, we will continue with our 15-minute countdown to the service. I also have here at the top of the hour call to worship. We'll do Psalm 95, 1 through 2, doing the ESV there. For all of these songs, keys, we're still working out keys as far as which we will play them in. They're going to be pretty close, and I'll, of course, text the band whenever those are finalized. But we will kick off the morning with Rejoice. This is the song that we did last weekend as the pre-service song. I am introducing that as a congregational song for our folks. Let me get the schedule here just a little bit bigger. There we go. Too big. All right. So, like I said, we'll kick off with Rejoice, and then after that, we'll go straight into the welcome and greeting, which will be Cindy this Sunday morning. Then, for all of our worship set and a couple of special songs in the middle, we have our children's choir joining us this Sunday. So, following welcome and greeting, we'll go straight into the children's choir set. We'll do 2 songs back to back. And then to transition that, Tom will come up. And like he mentioned in last weekend's services, then we will pray over the cards that were submitted this past Sunday. So as we've done in the past, we'll have a congregational prayer spot where Tom invites the congregation to come forward to take the cards that were submitted and to pray over those. After the congregational prayer spot, we'll go and we'll do doxology, God be praised. This is the worship circle arrangement of this one. Amanda will lead that, and then we'll go into, then Nate will pray for the message. That will transition us straight into the message. And then following, we will have everybody back up, band, horns, and vocals. Children's choir, we will not have children's choir come back up for the end. But band, horns, and vocals, we will have everybody back up for Lord Have Mercy for What We Have Done. This is on the album, The Hymns of Matt Boswell and Matt Papa. It's the same album that His Mercy Is More comes from. Really great response song here at the end, so have a listen to that. This is actually one that I would like to use not just as a reflective song, but I would love to make this a regular part of our repertoire because it's a really nice song of repentance and song of lament that I think would work really well. And of course, closing out with the benediction, and that sets us at about 65 minutes right there for the service. So yes, your eyes do not deceive you. That is only 3 songs for the band for this weekend. I'll text everybody and let you guys know what we're going to for sure end up doing as far as rehearsal times are concerned. I still need to think through a couple of things, but I'm thinking about a different rehearsal time for Sunday morning, something that would actually be a little bit later because we don't need as much rehearsal, and there's not really any reason for us to hammer away at 3 songs 15 times before the 9 o'clock service. So look for that text later in the week once I get confirmations back on the keys. To close out today, I want to take a couple of minutes. I want to talk to you guys about singing in your home and singing hymns in your home. A little segment here that I'd like to call Hymns in the Home. I wish I had like a really cool like video bumper or a song or something to go into that section, but I don't. I just verbal change. Maybe I could do like a wardrobe change or something. This is a live video. That would be a nightmare. We're not going to do that. So what I want to talk about with hymns in the home is my encouragement to you that no matter what ministry you're in or whether you think of yourself as a vocalist or not, I want to encourage you to be singing with your families, singing hymns in the home. Now, for those who specifically have children or who have grandchildren, this is really, really critical because, as you know, you have the command from the Lord to train them in the discipline and the instruction of the Lord, or some other translations say bring them up in the fear and the admonition of the Lord. That, of course, being Ephesians chapter 6. So it's critical that hymns and that singing be a part of this. And I've got 3 kind of talking points here that I want to work through. And then I want to end here by putting some resources in your hand. And I'll say this. These are, I think these are good resources, and I think that there's more that could even be done as far as resourcing and equipping you guys. And I would kind of like to know from you, what would be helpful? What do you need as you're seeking to get good songs into your kids' minds and to really let that shape their imagination and shape their understanding of who God is and the Christian faith and what it means to walk faithfully with Him? what do you guys need? Now, there are tons of Bible study resources. I'll even talk about some of that stuff as we get into some of these resources. But specifically on the music side, I think that this is a really key component that I have a suspicion might be weak for a lot of believers. And I want to help fill the gap for you. I want to help put some resources in your hands that will be actually helpful, that you can use on a daily basis with your kids to be able to get good songs that you're singing together and that you're singing as a church, and that really serve as anthems for your kids as they grow in their faith and as they take ownership of their faith as they grow into adulthood. So I guess the three things that I would like to admonish you with today would be this. And number one, whenever it comes to singing hymns in your home and singing songs to the Lord, the first thing I want to say is just prioritize it. Prioritize singing hymns of the faith in your home. I don't know what your experience was growing up. I don't know what your experience has been so far in the home that you've established with your spouse, or if you're still a kid growing up, I don't know what your experience is like with your parents. But I would like for us as this community of believers for it to be part of our culture that we sing hymns and we sing songs in our homes. I think that for me, I grew up in a family, yes, that sang hymns, and we sang hymns in church. And, if we were preparing for, for a music set or whatever, we would sing then. But it wasn't a part of our day-to-day, schedule as a family. We certainly didn't have any type of intentional approach to it, and I think that's actually something that that might be pretty common for most believers, and I think that we could. I think there's an opportunity for improvement there as we seek to actually raise godly kids and not just raise kids who are shaped by the world system around them. So prioritizing that this is not just something special that happens for kids whose parents happen to be musical or who are involved in the music ministry or whatever. This really should be parents of all kids within the church. I think number two is, as I want to encourage you in the singing of hymns within your home, I want to encourage you to prioritize singing things that will outlive you and that will outlive your kids. We often hear with literature that you should spend most of your time reading things by dead authors. There's a lucrative, less lucrative than it used to be, but still a lucrative publishing industry built around new books, constantly pushing out new books. In fact, Solomon says, I think it's in Ecclesiastes, that to the making of books there is no end. There's constantly new takes. Some of them are good and helpful. Most of them are repackaging of old ideas in pretty crummy packages. Sometimes they take the morsel of truth. I'm talking about literature here. Sometimes they take the morsel of truth and package it in something that's sentimental or that is sensational, and they try to pass it off as truth. Well, the same thing happens with music, and the same thing happens with the modern Christian music and worship music industry, is that there's some good stuff out there, but there's an overwhelming torrent of really unhelpful things that are kind of flash in the pan songs or flash in the pan even hymns that come out. And so I want us as a people, as a community of believers, to develop a taste for things that are old. That's like aged wine. I guess we're Baptist. I can't really use that example. Access your less Baptist self here. Something that's been aged and that has actually gotten better with age. We need to develop a taste for that in our music, because content is crucial. Content is critical in the songs that we're singing. We don't want to sing bad songs. We don't want the tunes. We don't want the melodies to be, simplistic or boring or dull or predictable. Needlessly predictable. We do want to sing good melodically, harmonically rich songs, rhythmically rich songs, but we don't want to forsake lyric and content just for the sake of melody and harmony. Okay? And then the final thing is that I want to encourage you with is this. When it comes to singing hymns in the homes, I want you to commit to doing it every single day. Consistency grows the garden, and that's what we're after here as we seek to discipline and instruct our kids in the way of the Lord, and doing so specifically through hymns. Consistency grows the garden. So, all that to say, sing hymns in your home. Sing good, rich hymns of the faith in your home with your kids every single day. I'm joining you on this journey. And I'll say this, I aim to do it as much as I remember, and I don't remember to do it every day. So I'm certainly on this journey with you and admonishing you to something that I am stepping up to seek to do as well. Let me give you a couple of resources here, because I certainly don't want to tell you go do this and then not give you at least something that's going to be quasi helpful for you. The first resource that I want to tell you about, this is one that I've used quite a few times with Ellie, and that is the Getty Kids Hymnal. We've listened through all of these albums here on car rides, or in the bathtub, or getting ready in the morning, whatever, long trips. These are really good albums here. Go over to Spotify. You can check all of these out. Go over to YouTube. They also have them there as well. And this page right here, just on gettymusic.com, I think if you go over, they're having some issues with their website today, so I'm not going, like I said. Anyway, if you go over to hymns, you can find more about their kids' stuff. But if you just need something to listen to and to sing through together, there's a lot of really familiar stuff on there. And then, of course, they've got some good practices here as far as how to use these with your kids in family worship and on a regular basis. This is a good hymn list here for your kids to be memorizing. And then here's a great curated Spotify playlist that if you go over to Spotify, I've actually got it right here. If you go over to Spotify, there's, I don't know how many songs. There's 51 songs that they've recorded and put into this list. Excellent resource there. Other thing I'm going to tell you about is the Sovereign Grace. They've got a really nice kids resource section. This is less like hymns that you're going to be familiar with, and more, these are kind of like truths around teaching kids theology and teaching them scripture. We actually use this book right here with Ellie. It's called Theology, and it's got it's got an album that goes along with it. So you're singing songs about these truths about God that you're learning as you go through the book. So this is a really cool resource. And they've got lots of other things. I thought this, I've never used this Wise Up curriculum, but they've got some fun songs that go along with it. Lazy Bones is pretty funny. That's a good one. But this is just a study in Proverbs and some songs to go along with it. So hopefully that's a good start for you. If you're trying to get your head around how to do this family worship thing and how to make it a regular process, at least the singing aspect of it, I want to be able to help you guys and resource you with that. I'm learning as I go along too. For those of you who have raised kids and who have godly children and you've put some of these things into practice, please step up, comment below, or send me an email. Let me know what you did that worked, because I'm always eager to learn from people who have done it right and who have done it well. And for those who are in the middle of it right now, if you found some resources that you think are really good, send them my way too. And for everybody, if this is helpful, let me know, because I would love to do more to be able to help you out in this journey and putting things in your hands. Okay? That's everything for today. Thanks for joining in for the weekly. Until next time. I don't have a sign off. I should really have a sign off. That'd be pretty cool. That would have been really sharp right there. To say until next time. Oh, I don't know. I don't have anything. Until Sunday. You guys have a good week. Take care, everybody.